Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Hi to anyone waiting. It's a beautiful morning. I'm just going to adjust the camera slightly because we're having lots and lots of trouble with the space in my house. And I really want you to be able to see the mat, but also be able to see me fully, which is proving a little bit difficult. So, how are we all? We're okay on this Sunday morning. Um, it's a lovely morning. I don't know if any of you have been outside yet. It's quite still and quiet, which is nice. But yeah, and it's the sunshine. Hopefully, it stays that way. So this morning we're going to be flowing through a lovely beginners class, a beginners flow. So if you've never done yoga before, or if you're a little bit apprehensive about some of the other flows that I've put on YouTube being a little bit too difficult, and maybe there's some of the postures that you don't know or you don't understand, then today we're just going to be running through some basic yoga postures, yoga moves. It'll still be a flow class. We'll still be flowing through our sun salutations and into different postures, but we'll just go a little bit slower. And I will try and explain everything as we go along. I do tend to try and explain how to move into each posture as we do it. Anyway, that's just a general sort of thing of mine and a way that I teach. But today we'll just go through it a little bit slower, so you'll have time to adjust into each posture, check your alignment, make sure that your feet are where they're supposed to be, and your shoulders and your arms and things. So what you will need is, if you don't have a mat, don't worry, you can do it on a towel or a throw. I do suggest that you start in bare feet. It's always easier for grip, and also it really allows you to ground yourself if you have bare feet and you're practicing without any socks on. It enables the energy from the earth to rebound up through all those little trigger points on the bottom of your foot, which then allows the energy then to flow all the way through your body. So get yourself a mat or a towel. I appreciate you're not all going to have a block. So if you have like a textbook or a rolled up towel or a cushion or something, then please feel free to bring one of those, because we're going to start seated. So what I suggest with these blocks or with a book, put your sit bones on the edge of the block, and it'll just allow your hips to come higher than your knees. And then we're going to start cross-legged. I'm just going to have a drink of my brew. So if you've got a coffee or a tea with you, feel free to take a sip of that before we start. But also make sure you've got some water to hand as well. All right. So with each yoga practice, we tend to start with some simple pranayama, which is breath work. It's the control of the breath. Yoga is a practice that is very deep. It has many, many layers, and it's not just all about the movement, the asanas, which is what we call the postures. There's a lot more to it than that. And breath work is one of the 8 limbs of yoga. Allowing yourself to connect to your breath, allowing yourself to be able to breathe in a way that you're fully aware of, that you're mindful of, can really help to aid your well-being. It can help to aid your rest and digest, your nervous system, your immune system, can lower your heart rate, and it can also just allow your mind to settle. So we're going to run through some basic breath work this morning. So if you want to come to seated, I'm going to turn this way so you can see how I'm sat on my block. If you can, I'm just perched on the end of it. And so you come up to having a straight back with your shoulders rolling away from your ears. Don't worry if your knees come really high. This is natural if you have tight hips. But coming into a seated position, just cross your legs. And if you can, allow your knees just to fall lower than your hips, to open out your hips slightly. Sitting up tall, imagine there is a piece of string going from the ground, and that piece of string is coming all the way up through your body, up through the crown of your head, and it's reaching towards the ceiling. Now imagine it's straight and it's pulled tight. This is how you want to be sitting. And this is how you want every posture, every standing posture, each posture we do, your back and your spine, or your whole body wants to be elongated and open. So imagine that piece of string pulling you up towards the ceiling. Allow yourself to feel the connection of each of your limbs, whether it's your ankles or your knees or the backs of your legs or your sitting bones. Just allow them to settle into the mat. You can either place your hands with your palms facing down on your knees. This will allow you to ground your practice today. If you feel like you need a little bit of grounding, then please feel free to do this. If you want to invite some more energy into your practice this morning, then just flip your palms, bring the tops of your hands to rest on your knees, and bring your index finger and your thumb into a mudra, and just allow your arms to come out long. Relax your shoulders away from your ears, relax your jaw, relax your face, and just close down your eyes. Allow yourself to settle. Maybe bring your focus and your gaze to that space in between your eyebrows, your third eye center. Maybe a black space. For some it might be bright yellow or blue or white. And just begin to allow yourself to just be present. Try to ignore all the outside influences. With yoga, the main aim, or the main aim, according to Patanjali, who wrote the sutras, is to calm the mind. It's to restrain those modifications in the mind. So from day to day, we have chitter chatter going on in our heads and our brains, and everything from the outside world just sometimes takes over our minds. So with yoga, rather than it just being a physical practice, it's allowing the mind to switch off, to acknowledge everything that's going on in the world, to accept it, and to move on. Know that it's there, appreciate it, and just allow it to pass over you. So take a breath in through your nose and let it go through your mouth. And we begin our pranayama by breathing in through our noses and breathing out through our noses. So your regular breath, you may find yourself breathing solely from your chest. On your first inhale, I want you to breathe instead into your abdomen. It might help if you place one hand on your stomach while you're doing this. So as you inhale, feel your abdomen rise, filling up with air. And then as you exhale, allow your navel to draw back towards your spine as you release your breath. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale through your nose, allow your belly to drop, releasing the air. One more time, inhale, belly rises. Exhale, navel to spine. Now your next inhale, Increase the count of the breath to 1, 2. Keep expanding the abdomen. 3, 4. And then exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. On your next inhale, I want you to send the breath in through your abdomen, and this time allow it to rise up through your rib cage, expanding into your rib cage, opening into your chest area, and traveling all the way up to your shoulders. And then release through your shoulders, your chest, your abdomen. Inhale, belly rises, rib cage expands. Breath comes in through the chest, expanding through the collarbones, finally into the shoulders, and maybe into the throat. And then exhale, throat, shoulders, collarbones, chest, rib cage and belly. Just do this 2 more times in your own rhythm, drawing your focus and your gaze back to your third eye center if you lose concentration. Maybe add a little pause in at the top, your internal retention, before releasing. One more time. This time, I want you to inhale super slow. So maybe for the count of 8, if you can, no pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Release through your nose, all the way through your shoulders, collarbones, chest. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just come back to your regular, normal rhythm of breathing. In through your nose and out through your nose. Begin to gently dip your chin down towards your chest. And if your eyes are closed, just flutter your eyelids open, allow yourself to get used to the light in the room once more. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. We're going to begin to move into the body just now. Okay, so stay seated, stay on your block or on your textbook if you have one. We're just going to inhale, raising our hands high above our heads. Gaze might follow, palms might touch. Exhale, release the hands down. One more time. Inhale, raise those hands high. Exhale, hands come down to the earth. This time, inhale, both hands high. I want your left hand to come forward, your right hand to come back, and we're going to twist to the right. Keeping the integrity of the spine. Mainly gaze is over your right shoulder, but relax those shoulders. Try and avoid hunching them up towards your ears. Inhale, back to center, hands come above your head. As you exhale, twist to the left. Left arm comes behind, right arm comes in front. Maybe your gaze comes over your left shoulder. Each time you inhale, you're lengthening to create space. As you exhale, maybe you can twist and move a little deeper. Inhale, lengthen, arms come above the head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now planting your right hand on the floor, take an inhale, raise your left hand high. And as you exhale, I want you to come over to the right hand side. Maybe your left hand comes above your head. As you open out your chest, gaze might be up to your left fingers. Take an inhale to rise. Exhale to lower your left hand. Inhale, raise your right hand high. Exhale, peel your right shoulder away from your ear and gaze up towards your left fingers. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Now, if you're sitting, remove the block from underneath your sitting bones, and we're going to come and make our way into our tabletop position. And so with your tabletop, you want your wrists stacked underneath your shoulders, and your fingers want to be spread really wide on the mat, as wide as you can. So imagine you want to be gripping down onto that mat. Your back wants to be straight. Your knees want to be underneath your hips, and the tops of your feet want to be flat on the floor. So your knees are about hip distance apart. Your hands are about shoulder distance apart. Now, if you know you have trouble or with your shoulders, if you have tight shoulders, any tension in those shoulders whatsoever, just widen your hands slightly to the edges of the mat. This applies to downward facing dog as well, but we will go through that later. So, setting yourself up, grounding through your palms and pushing down through the tops of your feet. We're going to move into a few rounds of cats and cows. So as you inhale, arch your back, lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling, draw your shoulders away from your ears, and gaze comes up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, push the mat away, round your back, create some space so that your gaze can come towards your knees and you're really opening out your shoulder blades. Inhale, arch your back, tailbone lifts towards the ceiling, gaze comes towards the ceiling, shoulders away from the ears. Really imagine you're pulling that mat towards you. Exhale into your cat. Gaze towards your your knees. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. Tabletop position, really with your cats and cows, really allows you to mobilize into the spine, warming up the torso, allowing you to create some space for all the movement that you're going to be doing in the rest of your class. So 2 more times. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. Inhale through your nose into your cow. Draw those shoulders away, tailbone up towards the ceiling. Arch that back. Exhale, angry cat back. Push the mat away. Inhale, coming into your tabletop. Now we'll work into the legs slightly. So grounding down through your left palm, pushing down through the top of your left foot. I want you to inhale and lengthen your right foot to the back of the room, flexing your right foot, keeping your hips square, gaze towards the top of your mat slightly. And as you exhale, as we did with our cat back, round your cat back and bring your knee to your nose. Inhale, lengthen that leg, flex your right foot. Exhale, round your back, knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release your knee back down. We'll repeat on the left-hand side. Grounding into both palms. Inhale, lengthen your left leg, flex your left foot. Exhale, round your back, bring your knee to your nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to nose. Really rounding that back. Imagine you're pushing your spine up towards the ceiling and your navel is coming up towards your spine, your belly button tucking in and under. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rounding your back, bringing your knee to your nose. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. All right. We're just going to do that one more time, but we're going to introduce the arms into it as well. So opposite arm to leg. As you inhale and lengthen your right leg, I want you to bring your left arm out long. And as you exhale, rounding your back, bring your left elbow to your right knee, pushing the mat away from you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Slowly release, and we'll repeat on the left. So inhale, left leg lengthens, right arm comes forward, flexing your left foot. As you exhale, rounding your spine, bringing your elbow to your knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Breathing in, lengthening out, creating space for you to exhale as your navel draws up towards your spine, knee to elbow, and then release. Bring your knees as wide as the out to edges of your mat and bring your big toes to touch. And we'll sink back into our child's pose. So sinking your hips down onto your heels, creeping your hands forward and bringing your chest towards the floor and making your forehead rest either on the mat or on a cushion if your head doesn't quite reach the floor at this point. Sink your hips further down towards your heels. Take some lovely, nourishing breaths in this posture. This is your child's pose. If at any point throughout the practice you feel like you want to come to child's pose, please feel free to do so. There's absolutely no pressure to go into any of the postures. It's your practice. Do what feels right for your body. As I like to say with my classes, if you want to set an intention for your class this morning, maybe some positive words of affirmation for yourself if you've had a tough week, or if you're not feeling very energetic, maybe send yourself some love, send yourself some energy. Or if you just want to give yourself some positive reinforcement, maybe I am enough, or I can, I am, I will. And that might be enough as well. Or if you feel like you don't want to set an intention at all and you just want to practice, then you can do that also. Take one more deep breath in your child's pose. As we inhale, coming back into our tabletop. Now we're going to move into our first plank. And the reason we're going to do this is because the feet and arm setup for plank is generally how the distance between the feet and the hands is generally how we would move into our downward facing dog. So grounding your hands into the mat, I want you to tuck your toes and then just lift your legs high and come into your high plank. Now your bottom wants to be generally in line with your shoulders. You want to avoid dumping your bottom down. This is going to cause real problems for your back. So your heels want to be pushing towards the back of the room. You're on the balls of your feet and your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Draw your navel up towards your spine. Gaze is maybe towards the top of the mat or just beyond the mat. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, lengthen and lift your tailbone towards the ceiling, drawing your heels down towards the floor, bringing your chest towards your thighs, and your ears come in line with your biceps. Lengthen that tailbone. However, please don't feel that you need to keep your legs straight at this point. If you have tight hamstrings, bend into your knees so you can lift your tailbone higher. Draw those heels towards the floor, but keep a bend in the knees. Try and avoid making your stance shorter just to lengthen out those legs. That's not what you want in your downward facing dog. You want your stance to be plank position. Exhale, downward facing dog. So bring your biceps in line with your ears in line with your biceps. Really make sure your fingers are spread wide. External rotation in the upper arms. Gaze comes towards your feet. Remember, gentle bend in the knees in order to lengthen that tailbone towards the ceiling. You can pedal out your feet here, lifting one heel, dropping the other, just to ease out the hamstrings. And imagine you have got that piece of string and it's now lifting your sitting bones and your hips up towards the ceiling. Try and avoid overextension into the spine or the shoulders by keeping length through the back and the legs. Come to a place of stillness in your downward facing dog. Gaze towards your feet. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, gently walk your hands back towards your feet so that you're coming to the back of your mat. Your feet are about hip distance apart. Soft, gentle bend in your knees to allow your chest to come towards your thighs. And then let your head hang heavy. This is your Uttanasana, your forward fold. Again, your tailbone wants to be lengthening towards the ceiling. Eventually, you may be able to straighten out those legs. And as you're hinging at the hips, you may be able to come all the way over your thighs. But for now, keep a bend in those knees. Do not worry about straightening out those legs. Let your head hang heavy. Gaze comes between your legs towards the back of the room. Maybe grab hold of opposite elbow and allow yourself to ragdoll it out. And then come to a place of stillness, placing both hands on the floor. Take an inhale, straighten out the legs, lengthen the spine, and allow the crown of the head to reach forward. So you've got a flat back, so your hands can come to your shins if you wish, or they can stay on the floor. This is your Ardha Uttanasana, your half lift. Inhale. As you exhale, fold some more over your thighs. One more time. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhaling to fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. This time as you inhale, straight spine, straight legs. Arms come above your head. Hands come above your head. Palms might touch, gaze might follow. Exhale, hands to heart center, Samastiti. Okay, so we're going to come into a Tadasana, a mountain posture, which is the, the blueprint for all postures. So Tadasana is really nice grounding position. So walking towards the front of your mat, bringing your feet so that your toes are pointing forwards. And you can either have your feet hip distance apart. I'm also aware that you can't see my head, but something that we're going to have to sort out. Bring your feet so that they're either hip distance apart, or you can have your big toes touching with a little bit of air in between your heels. And then really ground down through all four corners of your feet. Allow the energy to rebound up through your legs so you're engaging your thighs. Hips are shining forwards. Lengthen through the sides of your body. Roll those shoulders back and down. Palms face forwards. Gaze faces forwards. Crown of your head reaches up towards the ceiling. Imagine that piece of string once more, and it's pulling you up straight. Take a couple of breaths. We're going to move into a Sun Salutation A, a Surya Namaskar A. So Sun Salutations are a really great way of warming the body up. They're also traditionally done as a salute to the sun, i.e. the clue is in the name. And they're just a really nice flow of repetition, however many times you want to do them. Okay? Take a moment, breathe in, release. Inhale, raise your hands above your head. Palms might touch, gaze might follow. As you exhale, I want you to hinge at your hips, slight bend in the knees, folding over your thighs, keeping your tailbone lengthening and your spine lengthening, dropping your head, coming into your forward fold, just like we did at the back of the mat. Inhaling into your halfway lift. As you exhale, plant your hands and step your legs and your feet back into your high plank, just like we did before. Making sure your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Pushing those heels towards the back of the floor. Take an inhale. And as you inhale, drop your knees, untuck your toes, and bring your chest down to the floor, but keep your elbows in at your rib cage. You want to avoid the elbows coming out like that. You want to keep them in towards the body. Tops of the feet come onto the floor, gaze ahead of the mat. Inhale, Bhujangasana, low cobra. So the bottom ribs want to be still connected on the floor. Shoulders away from your ears, pushing down through the tops of your mat, engaging through your glutes. Exhale, lower. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, low cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, bend your knees, tuck your toes, and then send your tailbone high into your downward facing dog. So lengthen out those legs, bring those heels towards the floor. Biceps come in between the arms, ears come in between the arms, ears in line with your biceps. Gaze towards your feet. Remember, gentle bend in your knees to allow your tailbone to reach high. Don't worry if you can't straighten out your legs and bring your heels to the floor at this moment in time. Don't worry. You're still doing a downward facing dog, even if your knees are bent. Take an in-breath. Let it go. Inhale, lift your heels. And as you exhale, bend your knees and then slowly tiptoe towards the front of the mat, landing in your forward fold, your Uttanasana, tailbone lengthening towards the ceiling, chest coming to your thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Relax your shoulders away from your ears, spine is straight, crown of the head reaching forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, swoop those arms high, coming into your Utthita Hasta Intadasana. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll go through that one more time. Setting yourself up in mountain posture. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Hinging at your hips. Bending, gentle bend in the knees. Head hangs heavy. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back into your high plank. Checking in with your alignment, making sure your shoulders are over your wrists. Inhale. Exhale, lower your knees, untuck your toes, bring your chest down onto the floor. Shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, bend your knees, tuck your toes, tailbone lengthens, downward facing dog. Breathe here, 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees and tiptoe or step to the front of your mat, landing in your forward fold once more, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, straight spine, hands come above your head, Utthita Hasta Intadasana. Exhale, hands to heart center, Samastiti. Lovely. Take a drink if you need to at this point. We're going to move into a Surya Namaskar B, which is a sun salutation B. Slightly more challenging than the sun salutation A, but still with the same basics and the same postures in them. All right? And we're going to do a couple of modifications. So I'll offer variations for them. So feel free to do whichever variation you like, okay? So setting up in your Tadasana, your mountain posture, hips pointing forwards. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Relax your gaze, relax your jaw. Allow yourself to enjoy the moment. It's yoga, not boot camp. It should be a joining together and a yoking together and a unison of your breath and your body. All right. Inhale, rise. Hands come above your head. Breathe out. Hinge at your hips. Folding over your thighs. Soft bending your knees. Coming into your forward fold. As you inhale into your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time as you inhale, I want you to come into a chair posture. So sinking your tailbone, your hips back. Imagine you're going to sit on a chair that's just behind you. So your toes are pointing forwards. Your knees or your thighs will eventually come parallel. You want to try and avoid a Beyonce bum here. We don't want to be twerking on a Sunday morning. It's only 10 o'clock. So bringing your tailbone closer to the floor. Drawing your navel in towards your spine. You want to be opening out your chest here, lengthening your arms, and make sure you can see your toes over your knees. This is your Utkatasana, your chair posture. Gaze is up towards your hands. Take an in-breath. Exhale, fold over your thighs. Gaze comes down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back into your high plank. Take an in-breath. As you exhale, lower down through your knees, untuck your toes, bring your chest onto the floor. Shoulders and elbows are in at the rib cage. Inhale, Bhujangasana, press through the tops of your feet. Exhale, bend your knees, tuck your toes, send your tailbone high to your downward facing dog. Take an in-breath. Exhale. Now you can either stay in your down dog here, or you can come back towards your knees, because we are going to lengthen into our leg and bring our right leg through. So if you feel like you want to challenge, stay in your downward facing dog. And or if you want to come down into tabletop, then feel free to do that. So take an inhale, lengthen your right leg back. As you exhale, round your back and step your right foot forwards so that your knee is stacked over your ankle. If you're in downward facing dog, inhale to lengthen your right leg, exhale to bring it through, and we're going to stay in this lunge position. All right, so if you're down on your shin and on your knee, then feel free to stay here. Take an inhale to rise into either a high lunge if you were in down dog, or a low lunge here, pushing down through the top of your foot. Shoulders are relaxed. Your hips want to be shining forwards. Your knee wants to be stacked over your ankle. Make sure your knee's not tracking over your feet. Take a couple of breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Lower your hands down. Step back into either your tabletop or your high plank, whichever variation you're doing. If you're in tabletop, inhale. Exhale, then lower down all through onto the floor. So if you were in your high plank, you would exhale, lower your knees, untuck your toes, bring your chest down onto the floor. Inhale into your Bhujangasana. Exhale, bend your knees, tuck your toes. Tailbone comes high, downward facing dog. Remember, you can softly and gently bend into your knees, external rotation in your upper arms, gaze towards your feet. Now, if you're staying here, take an in-breath, lift your left leg, and as you exhale, roll over your shoulders and bring your left foot through, all right? If you want to come down onto the floor, lower your knees onto tabletop position. Inhale, lengthen your left leg. Exhale, bring your left foot through, plant it in between your hands, pushing down onto the mat with the top of your right foot. Inhale to rise into your lunge, whichever variation you're in, whether it's here or here. Take 2 breaths in this position. Relax your shoulders. Try and avoid dumping the weight into the hips. You're going to be up straight. Remember that piece of string. Inhale. Exhale, lower your hands. Step back into your plank once more, wherever you are, or into your tabletop, whatever feels best for you. Take an in-breath. Exhale, lower your knees, untuck your toes, bringing your chest onto the floor. Engage through your glutes as you inhale into your Bhujangasana. Exhale, bend your knees, tuck your toes, send your tailbone high, downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, and then walk or step to the top of your mat, landing in your forward fold, your Uttanasana. Inhaling to your halfway lift, your Ardha Uttanasana, hands touch the shins or the floor. Exhale, fold. Inhale, back into your chair, sinking your bottom and your tailbone down, drawing your navel in towards your spine. Arms come high, or they can rest here. Utkatasana. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale all the way up to standing. Swoop those hands high. Exhale, Samastiti. Everybody all right? Sun salutation B, a little variation on that. Take a drink if you need to. And move into Surya Namaskar C, Sun salutation C. Traditionally a moon salutation, actually. It's a really nice one. I'm really a fan of Sun salutation C. It's a lovely practice a lovely salute to move into. So again, big toes to touch, so they're there in between your heels. Coming into your Tadasana, your mountain posture, palms facing forwards. Relax those shoulders. Allow the energy to rebound up through your feet, letting it travel all the way up through your body, releasing through the crown of your head. Breathing in, raise your hands high. Exhale, surrender over your thighs, hinging at your hips, coming down into your Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands touch something, legs straighten out. Exhale, release your breath, step back with your right foot. Now you can either stay here or you can drop that knee and untuck that toe, wherever is comfortable for you. If you're staying here, take an inhale and rise into your high lunge on this side. If you're dropping your knee, it's exactly the same, but you're just at a different level. That's all. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale once more. Exhale, lower those hands and step back into your high plank. So stacking once more those shoulders over your wrists, allowing your bum to be in line with your shoulders, not dipped. Take an in-breath. As you exhale, lower your knees, untuck your toes, and bring your chest down onto the floor, keeping your elbows close into the body, shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, Bhujangasana, low cobra. Exhale, bend your knees, tuck your toes, and you know where we're going. We're going into downward facing dog. Gaze towards your feet. Remember, so you can bend in your knees in order to lengthen that tailbone. The weight wants to be evenly distributed between your hands and your feet, or your arms and your legs, really. Gaze towards your feet. Take an in-breath and out-breath. Now you can come onto your knees here because we are, once more, going to bring our right leg through and plant it in between our hands. But if you want to stay at this level in a downward facing dog, please feel free, or come to your knees just now. So take an inhale, raise that right leg high, keeping your hips square and your shoulders square. As you exhale to create space for your leg to come through and plant it in between your hands at the top of your mat. Doesn't matter how many times it takes to shuffle that foot forward. Drop your knee if you wish, or if you want to stay here, you can. Take an inhale to rise into your high lunge on this side. Keep breathing. Inhale, lengthen those arms, lengthen that torso. Exhale, fold, bringing your hands to the floor. Step your foot up to meet your right. Land once more in your Uttanasana, your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, straight spine, sweep those hands high above your head. Exhale, Samastiti. All right, we'll do that on the second side, on the left side. So once more, Tadasana, mountain posture. Allowing yourself to become grounded. Check in with that intention if you set one. Draw your gaze and your concentration back towards the space in between your eyebrows. Take an in-breath. Release. Breathing in, hands come above your head. Palms might touch. Exhale, hinge at your hips, folding over your thighs. Tailbone lengthens towards the ceiling. Head hangs heavy, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, as you do, step back with your left leg. Now you can drop the knee if you wish, or you can stay here to inhale and rise into your high lunge, making sure your right knee is tracking over your right ankle. Hands can be here if it's more comfortable on the shoulders. Take an in-breath. Exhale, hands plant on the floor and step back into your high plank. Take an in-breath here. Exhale, lower your knees, untuck your toes and bring that chest down onto the floor once more. Shoulders peel away from your ears, come down, allow them to relax. Press into the tops of your feet as you inhale into your Bhujangasana. Exhale, bend your knees, tuck those toes, downward facing dog. Send your tailbone high. Bringing and drawing your heels down towards the floor, but keeping a nice bend in the knees, easy on those hamstrings. Widen your hands to the sides of the mat if you have tight shoulders to allow your chest to come close to your thighs. Draw that navel up towards the spine. Draw your bottom rib cage in. Breathe. Again, you can drop to your knees if you wish to come to this level while we bring our left leg through. So, or you can stay here in your down dog and inhale, bring your right foot through. If you're here in tabletop, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring that left leg through and plant it in between your hands. Again, doesn't matter how many times it takes you to shuffle it forwards. Tuck your toes as you inhale to rise into your lunge on this side, or you can stay here. Take a couple of breaths, allow those shoulders to soften down, allow your hips to shine forwards. So you're creating a lovely line of energy all throughout your body. Take an in-breath. Exhale, lower your hands down, step your right foot to meet your left, landing once more in your Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Breathing out, Uttanasana. Inhale all the way up to standing, hands come above your head. Exhale, Samasthiti. Amazing, guys, well done. We'll move into a little bit of a warrior flow now. I know everyone just wants to do warrior 2, so we're going to move into warrior 2. It's a really lovely posture to do. All right. Bringing your toes to touch so they're in between your heels. Allow yourself to become grounded once more on your mat. Give yourself a moment. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Inhale, raise your hands high. Exhale, hinge, fold at your hips. Uttanasana, let your head hang heavy. Inhale, half lift. And as you exhale, step back with your left foot and bring the outside of your left foot so that it's parallel with the back of your mat. Allow your right knee to bend. Right knee stacking over right ankle. As you windmill your arms over into your warrior 2, your Virabhadrasana 2. So check your setup alignment here. The heel of your right foot wants to be in line with the arch of your left foot. Your torso wants to be straight. You want to avoid the sort of arching in the back, making sure that the hips are shining forwards. Allow your right knee to draw towards your little toe. Ground down through the left little toe. Allow your torso to become straight. Arms are at shoulder height. Just relax those shoulders. Eventually, your right knee might come parallel to the floor. Gaze is down your right middle finger. Allow yourself to be strong in this warrior posture. Inhale, lengthen your leg, bring your hands high. Exhale, warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Same as you inhale, reach forwards. And as you exhale, place your right arm on your right thigh and draw your left hand high into your extended side angle. Gaze might be up towards your left fingers. Now you can peel that left shoulder away from your ear and draw your left hip back and your right hip forwards. Inhale, rise. Exhale, straighten out those legs. And then just heel toe your foot slightly inwards. We'll set up for our triangle, our Trikonasana. So once more, you want your torso to be straight. Avoid kind of this stance, because we're going to move there in a second. Gaze towards your right middle finger. Both legs are straight this time. Inhale, lengthen. Send your left hip towards the back of the room. Right hand comes forward. As you exhale, bring your right hand down to either the floor or your shin, wherever is most comfortable, and raise your left hand high. Gaze might be up towards your left fingers. Now you want to draw that right hip round. Draw your left hip back, opening up the side of your body and the front of your body. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Inhale to rise all the way back up into your setup. And like I've been saying on my socials, we're going to move into warrior 3. So I feel like you might be ready for this. If not, if you don't want to come into warrior 3, you don't have to. But we're just going to step slightly our left foot in to shorten our stance. So our left toes are pointing towards the top of our mat, the top left-hand corner of our mat. And Warrior Three is a lovely, lovely, balancing, energetic, fierce posture. It takes courage to come into a balance sometimes, but I feel like, why not? It's Sunday morning, let's go there. All right, so we're going to shift the weight, just practice shifting the weight forward into our right leg. Make sure you're grounding through that right foot. Make sure you've got some stability there. Roll those shoulders back. Take a slight bend in your right knee. As we inhale, raise your hands high. And as you exhale, we're just going to shift that weight into our right leg, lifting the left leg. If you want to stay here, you can. Or you can flex your left foot, straightening out your right foot, and just bringing your shoulders and your arms in line with your body, bringing your leg in line with your body, and coming down into your Warrior Three. Really ground down through that right foot. Maybe try and square off your hips so that both pointing towards the floor. You can bring your hands to Namaste if you like, if that's easier. Make sure you find your drishti, your focus point. So this can be an immovable object on the floor. Really focus on this position. Strong through, don't worry if you wobble, strong through your right leg. All right. If you want to extend those arms once more, you can, flexing through your left foot, or you can come into airplane arms as if you're flying. Take an inhale, exhale, inhale, slowly rise, bring your left foot to meet your right, raise those hands high, exhale, Samastitihi. Well done, guys. That's a really strong posture for a Sunday morning. So if you manage to do that, then fantastic. We're going to repeat that on the second side now. So coming once more into your Tadasana, your mountain posture. Check back in with your intention. Check back in with that focus point. Big toes to touch so they're there in between your heels. Ground down through your feet. Inhale, raise your hands high. Exhale, hinge at your hips, folding over your thighs, coming into your Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, flat back. As you exhale, step back with your right foot and allow the outside of your right foot to come parallel with the back of your mat. Take an inhale to rise, windmilling your arms over into your Warrior Two, your Virabhadrasana 2. Now again, you can come as wide as you like with your legs. Just allowing that left knee to stack over your left ankle. Allow your torso to stay straight. Imagine there's somebody pulling your right hand backwards a little bit just to straighten you up. Left heel in line with the arch of your right foot. Shoulders are relaxed, arms are shoulder height. Gaze is down your left middle finger. That's your drishti. Allow your hips to shine forwards. Breathe. Inhale, raise your hands high, straighten out your front leg, palms might touch. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2, bend into your left knee. Inhale, reach forwards. As you exhale, bring your left arm to your thigh, raising your right hand high into your extended side angle, peeling that right shoulder away and allowing your left hip to come forwards and your right hip to come back. Gaze up towards your right fingers. Breathe. Inhale, rise all the way back up into your Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, hands to hips. Straighten out your front leg and we'll set up for Trikonasana. So heel toe, your right foot slightly in to shorten your stance. Raise your arms to shoulder height. Legs, both legs are straight, grounding down through both feet. Inhale, reach forward, sending your right hip back to the back of the room. Exhale, release your left hand, raising your right hand high into your Trikonasana, your triangle pose. So your left hand can either be at your shin, it can be a little bit higher if you want, or you can come down onto the floor, relaxing and drawing those shoulders backwards to open out your chest. Gaze towards the ceiling. Exhale. Inhale all the way back up to standing. Exhale, release your hands. And then we're just going to step our right foot in slightly and set up for our warrior three. All right, so like we did before, just practice shifting the weight onto your left leg. Really grounding through your left foot, allowing this left leg to become the stability that you need. All right, so take an inhale. Raise your hands high. Exhale, gentle bend in your left knee. Shift your weight forwards and lift your right leg off the floor. And then hinge at your hips, keeping your hips straight, flexing your right foot and allowing your torso to come in line with your shoulders, in line with your hips, in line with your leg. Flex your left leg, warrior three, Virabhadrasana 3. Flex your right foot. Strong through your left leg. Don't worry if you've got a gentle bend in your knee. That's natural. Gaze towards the top of the mat or just in front. If you want to bring your hands to heart center, you can. Keep breathing in this posture. Draw your belly button in and up. You can bring your arms to airplane arms if you wish. Strong through that left foot and that left leg. Inhale, slowly come all the way back. Planting your hand on your exhale. Inhale, raise your hands high. Exhale, Samastitihi. Wonderful. Well done to everybody who gave that a go. Take a drink and we'll move down onto the floor. Okay. Bringing your big toes to touch once more. Allow yourself to just reconnect with your body and your energy, allowing that rooted energy to rebound all the way up through your body, lengthening through your torso and shooting out through the top of your head. Maybe close your eyes at this point. Take a breath in. Release. Coming back to your intention and to your focus. Inhale, raise your hands high. And as you exhale, sink your hips and your tailbone back. We're coming back into our Utkatasana, our chair pose. You can bring your hands to heart center if you wish. Allow yourself to see your toes over your knees. Take a breath here. As you inhale, I want you to lift your heels and then sink your hips and your bottom slowly down to the floor. You can bring your hands to the floor at this point and just round yourself into a tiny little ball on the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as you can. And then take an in-breath. As you exhale, gently lower your heels and see if you can lower your bottom towards the floor as well. It might not be as graceful as me, which isn't graceful at all, but in whichever way you can, come to seated. We're going to lengthen our legs out and we're just going to come into our Dandasana, our staff pose. It's a seated posture. So shuffle that fleshy bit of your bum out of the way so that your sit bone can rest nicely on your mat, flexing your feet. If you need to bend in your knees here, please feel free to do so, just to allow those hamstrings to ease out. I know a lot of people who have tight hamstrings really find it difficult to lengthen those legs and flex those feet because it's just an unknown position for them. So allowing that piece of string once more to pull you up straight. Try and avoid this rounding in the back. Allowing your chest to open and your shoulders to draw back and down. And maybe if you can place your hands on your mat by your side, you can do so. Don't worry if your legs are shaking at this point. It's natural. It's all right. You need to take an inhale and raise your hands high. And as you exhale, I want you to hinge at your hips and come into your Paschimottanasana, your forward fold. Don't worry if you can only come here. As you inhale, create the space. Inhaling into your abdomen, and you exhale, create that space for you to fold slightly deeper. So eventually your chest will come over your thighs and your forehead might come down towards your shins. Your gaze is at your toes. Try and avoid this rounding. A lot of people, when they come into a forward fold, want to just bring that chest towards the floor and get that forehead on the shins, and it's really going to compromise your back if you do that. So making sure that you've got that integrity in the spine. Slight bend in your knees if you need to fold forwards, folding at your hips, allowing your hips to create the movement. Inhale, lengthening your spine. Exhale, maybe fold some more. Stay here for 2 breaths. Exhale, we're going to creep the hands back up, and then we're just going to come into a bit of a twist. So bringing your right foot close to your body, your knee is bent, and we're just going to bring the right foot over the left leg, bringing your left arm and giving your right knee a bit of a hug, and then bringing your right arm behind you. Take an inhale to lengthen your spine. As you exhale, twist to the right. Maybe your gaze comes over your right shoulder. Keep your left foot flexed. Allow your spine to become straight. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, maybe you want to twist a little deeper. Inhale, bring your hand all the way back. Release your right leg down to the floor. Repeat on the left side. Bring your left knee in towards your chest, planting the sole of your left foot, flexing your right foot. Left foot comes over right leg. Right arm comes over and rounds the left knee. As you inhale, raise your hand. And exhale, plant your left hand behind you. Gaze is coming over your left shoulder. Keep your right foot flexed. Inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, draw your belly button in your navel in and twist a little deeper maybe. Relax those shoulders. Keep breathing. Inhale, come all the way back round. As you exhale, release your legs. We're going to come into Navasana, a boat pose, and this is how we're going to get down onto the floor. So again, if you want to remove those fleshy bits from underneath your bum, if you've got some fleshy bits to remove, bringing your feet ever so slightly closer in towards your body and bending your knees. You can bring your hands behind your thighs, and we're just going to shift the weight back into our sit bones, keeping our chest open, our shoulders away from our ears. And as you shift that weight back, using your core, engaging your core muscles and your Mula Bandha, you might lift your legs off the floor and point your toes. Your shins can be parallel with the mat, or if you feel like you want to go a bit further, you can lengthen out your legs. Bring your shins here if you like. Arms can come forwards with your fingers pointing forwards, keeping that back straight and that chest lifted towards the ceiling, or you can leave your hands behind the thighs, whichever is nicest for you. Keeping your gaze strong, engaging through that core, take an in breath. And we're going to exhale for 5 and lower, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way down to the floor. All right, guys, allow yourself to take a moment lying down. Just allow your body to settle. Allow yourself to appreciate everything that you've just done in your practice. Maybe close down your eyes. Feel the backs of the mat on backs of your legs, your calves, your thighs. Feeling the length of your whole back melt into the mat. And just allowing your shoulders to drop away from your ears. Send them down and back. Let your head sink into the mat. Maybe draw your chin slightly into your chest so you can lengthen in the back of the neck. Relax your jaw and relax your face. Relax your forehead. Close down your eyes. Bring your gaze and your focus back towards the space in between your eyebrows. Maybe come back to your intention. If you set an intention at the beginning of the class, now's the time to bring your awareness back to that. You've worked hard throughout the practice. I hope you enjoyed it. Take a deep breath in through your nose and let it go through your mouth. Allow the mind to clear. Allow the space around you to fill up with the energy from your practice. So we move into our Shavasana, our corpse pose. We'll stay here for a couple of minutes. Shavasana. Gently, whenever you're ready, just allow your awareness to come back to your breath. If you want to stay in Shavasana for a little while longer this morning, then please feel free to do so. It's your practice. Allow your awareness to come back to your body. Allow your awareness to come back to the space you're holding on your mat. And then allow your awareness to come back to the room that you're in. Make some gentle movements in your fingers and your toes, in your wrists and your ankles. If you want to give yourself a full body stretch, then please feel free to do so, lengthening and lifting those arms high, stretching towards the back of the room as you point your fingers and your toes. And then drawing your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a really big hug, wrapping your arms around your knees. If you want to rock from side to side, that feels nice on your back, feel free to do so. And then once you come into a place of stillness, I want you to roll over onto your right hand side, maybe using your right arm as a pillow for your head to rest on. This is your fetus position. We've just come out of Shavasana, our corpse pose. We've put an end to all the negative energy, everything that was building up inside of us. We've created that fire in our bellies. And during Shavasana, we've released all the unwanted energy. As you come into a place of rebirth, using your left hand to guide you up to a seated position on your mat, full of new revitalized energy, ready to face the day ahead. Keep your gaze soft and your eyes closed if you wish. Draw your chin down towards your chest. Bring your palms to touch at heart center and allow your thumbs to press into your sternum to feel the beat of your heart. Soften your gaze. Soften your jaw. Take a deep breath in through your nose and release through your mouth. One more time to seal the practice. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Bring your thumbs to rest at that space in between your eyebrows, your third eye center. It's where your thoughts, your intuition lie. May you have a wonderful Sunday. May this practice allow you to run into next week headlong, whatever you have to face. The light in me honors and salutes the light in all of you. Namaste. Thanks for joining. Feel free to leave me a little message if you like, or shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, email or anything like that. Appreciate the feedback, and also if there's anything you're unsure of, if there's anything you want to know about, especially if you're new to yoga or you're a beginner, and you're unsure a little bit of any of the postures, or you want to know more about the Sanskrit names, some of the names that I've been using throughout the class that you might be thinking, oh, what's she talking about? Then just shoot me a message, let me know, and I'll try my best to answer you. So hopefully see you again. I should be live at 7:30 Monday night, which is tomorrow. It won't be quite a beginner's, it'll be a little bit faster with a couple of more movements and a little bit more of a flow. So feel free to join me. Oh, James, thank you. Yeah, feel free to leave me a little bit of a little message on the chat at the side if you want. But yeah, so we'll go again tomorrow night, and thank you. Thanks for joining. Have a wonderful Sunday. Bye.